All right there. So I'm not quite sure how well this is going to work or how well you're going to be able to hear me, but consider this kind of like a mini video, a testing ground per se. So this is a short vid that I'm making right now, and it is live, and we are talking Vinegar Syndrome. Why am I making a video right now when I made one earlier on tonight? Well, although I was really happy with the video that I made earlier on today. I wasn't happy with the way it began and the buzzing and all that type of stuff. So I did want to come back in and just talk a little bit about my favorite company, which is Vinegar Syndrome. So if you're not used to seeing me up here, you haven't seen me up here. There's a reason for that. And hey, Indy Phantom, hey Ian, let me know if you can hear me because what I'm doing tonight, I've never done before. So hey Corey, I am on my iPhone and I'm up in my workroom. This is where I study, and where I do my usually do a lot of my buying, and I do a lot of my looking around. So this is my pretty old iMac. It's kind of like a maybe I should do more on the phone then. I'm having issues with my iPad, but I come up here do a lot of my studying. Basically, I am studying computer programming, so I got my VirtualBox and my Ubuntu there, and I'll work on that. But tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about Vinegar Syndrome. If you've never checked it out yet, Shockwaves actually did a video with the guys from Vinegar Syndrome. Oh, for me too, like Indie Phantom, that is like they are the number one company for me right now. To the point where let's be honest, I definitely have hitched my wagon to Vinegar Syndrome in the type of stuff that I like and the type of videos that I do. Now, I made a video earlier on tonight about Doctor Who, and I know that's not everyone's bag. That's not what everybody's into. So I did want to make kind of like a short video tonight on Vinegar Syndrome. Now, I'm guessing you probably can't see this too well, which is too bad, actually. Kind of a glare on that. But basically, what I'm looking at right now is the Vinegar Syndrome website. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to look at it here kind of together. So if you got it on your computer, feel free to bring it up. Now, I have grandmother's house coming soon in the mail from a good friend of mine, actually, Brian, who if you haven't heard me on Just This podcast yet, please listen. I get super nervous when I do those. So at the very least you can do is you can make fun of me. 2 live streams one night, B Movie Archives, and this time I think it's a more style, dude. We're talking Vinegar Syndrome. And we're doing this one on the iPhone. So I'm going back to my old school roots. The very first video that I made here, like over 6 years ago, was on my iPhone 4, opening up the Scream collection with Mask. And I thought we'd talk Vinegar Syndrome. Now, I did mention that the Shockwaves podcast did a episode where they spoke to the guys from Vinegar Syndrome, and I do recommend checking that out. They do a great podcast. Actually, Rob Glues and Al Kane. Actually, if you're on here a lot and you've seen Brian come on here who does Just This podcast and Pure Cinema, there's some connections there. The guys that do Shockwaves is Elric Kane, Rob Gluza, Ryan Turek, and Rebecca McKendry. Now, Rebecca McKendry, a lot of people like my age remember from her Fangoria days back in the day. And Rob Galuza, of course, comes on Just to This all the time. And Elric Kane works with Brian on Pure Cinema Podcast. So there's a big connection between the podcasts there. And actually, a while back, Brian was on, hey, Salataire, it is going well. I mean, I'm doing a lot of like programming, or learning programming languages and that now. So that's the fun thing when I'm not on here. That's what's going on. So we're talking Vinegar Syndrome. So right now I got the Vinegar Syndrome stuff up there. Now they did kind of make an announcement for 2 new Vinegar Syndrome titles that are coming out. So for the life of me, I got to try to remember the names. Has anybody listened to the podcast yet or seen? Because I know that the usually gets announced right afterwards what the titles are that are going to be coming out for Vinegar Syndrome later on this year. And they did announce two of them. They did say there's another one coming out that's going to get everybody excited, but they haven't said what that one is yet. They're keeping pretty quiet about that. I did have my iPad next to me where I was going to look at those announcements, and I left it downstairs. So maybe I will go get that in a second. But what's coming out like in so far? What we know from the May 2019 package at this point, all we know is there's Mountaintop Motel Massacre. So that's a certainty. By the end of this month, well, yeah, by the end of this week, I think they said we're gonna know number two. There. Now, the two we won't know the until the halfway to Black Friday sale is going to be the two at the bottom. One of them is a horror release, and one of them is probably an exploitation type film. So we don't really know where it's going. It could be anything. And I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of hoping it's going to be something like a Terminal Island or something like that. I was really big on the Sweet Sugar release that they did. So that type of stuff. I like the the Women of Prison type films or the action films that they do. B-Movie Challenge. I got to see that. Mountaintop Motel Massacre. I used to have that one actually for a lot. Remember the old like Anchor Bay satellite? I'm sure you do. Now Skinflakes, I've heard great things about B-Movie Archives. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that one. Now what's really great about that is, let's see if I can get it to come up here. I gotta remember how I use this on the Mac now, because I have to be careful not to go into the naughty aspect of it. This is YouTube after all. But there is a career interview with Sharon Mitchell, who which is something I really want to hear. And there is a commentary with really? There's a commentary with Sam Deegan and is it Kat Ellinger or Heather on that one, or is it Heather Drain? I can't remember right now. I think it's Sam Deegan and Kat Ellinger. Not quite sure, but there is a commentary on Skinflakes that's supposed to be really good. Also, what I've heard, and I didn't realize this, but what people have been telling me that have these films or got like this package here, the package that came out before, which has The Corruption of Chris Miller, Dark Room, Grandmother's House, and Skinflakes, is that Dark Room is like the sleeper hit, the hidden gem in this package right here. So Dark Room is something I'm definitely going to have to get. I'm a huge slasher fan. I love these type of films. I don't remember Dark Room. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but I kind of really want to now. It's apparently the hidden gem out of this month. So I'm gonna definitely during the sale, though this probably won't be going on sale because it's one of the newer ones. Usually what they do is they'll take the last month or two and they'll leave them fairly as is, maybe take 20% off, that type of thing. But for the 50, 60% off that they do for the halfway to Black Friday sale, that's usually the titles like 2 or 3 months down and and on when it comes to that. The Corruption of Chris Miller, I want. The Dark Room, I want. This is a good month, actually. The April package is a fantastic month. You got Skinflakes, which got a great commentary, apparently. Let's see, it's at summer. Oh, Dark Room is apparently... This is apparently the sleeper. This is the one that nobody knew about or talked about. They say that... And they were honest in the commentary on Shockwaves. They said... And I do recommend listening to their podcast, by the way, that Dark Room is probably one of their better titles, better slashers and stuff that they put out. But right out from the beginning, they knew the slipcover wasn't going to sell. You're still in Japan, right? I'm so jealous. So they said they're really not a fan of the slip. There's certain ones we can tell right away. When you look at something like a grandmother's house, you know once they go to a convention, once they put it up, look at the picture. You know that's an automatic sale. Uh, things like uh, things like Wacko, even Corruption Chris Miller, which you know it's not such a known title, but it is a Spanish giallo. So if you're a fan of movies like Pieces and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be as wonky and kind of out there as Pieces is, but it is a Spanish giallo, and that for that reason alone, I kind of have to have it. You know what I mean? The last one that I watched was Fleshpound on 42nd Street, as in the new ones. And no, Dominique and Fleshpound on 42nd Street, the last two that I watched. I still have to watch The Suckling, which Indie Phantom, I'm sure you're gonna get a kick out of when you when you get that one. But it's looking like it's going to be a really good like load of films for the upcoming halfway to Black Friday sale. Massage Parlor Murders. I have it actually. It's one of the first ones I bought. No, Massage Parlor Murders, Massage Parlor Murders. I actually found to be a really fun film. Like personally, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought, now you have to understand it's a low budget film. Uh, it's a movie that a lot of people get if they like, say you like kind of time capsule type films, things like New York. If you want to see New York, 42nd Street, New York, back in the day, you know, in the heyday, they filmed there. I'll try. So they, sorry, I'll make the mistake. I'll tell you. It's it's super low budget. It's it's cheesy, but the for me, you know, seeing New York at that time period, was a huge part of it. I did enjoy it. I remember kind of. I can't exactly say it. It is exactly what it says it is. There's no like hiding about it. They say Massage Parlor Murders. That is exactly it. It is Massage Parlor Murders. So I think it's a fun one if you like low budget '70s stuff and you don't mind. Yeah, Transfer is excellent on that one. And if you don't mind, you know, if you don't mind the low budget stuff, you'll have fun with it. I personally did. I can't say there's really any Vinegar Syndrome title. I'm trying to think that I got that I feel let me down, like in any way. With Vinegar Syndrome, you'll find that the don't think Suckling was in the package. No, that was part of the package, so it was probably in it. If you got like the month package, Indy, then like if you just like if you chose the package and didn't just kind of like cherry pick the titles, then that was in it. I didn't get to cherry pick my titles not this time around, but I will actually be grabbing some earlier stuff that kind of. Speaking of which, that's what we should talk about right now, because I always forget this. So there was a sub label of Vinegar Syndrome called Etiquette Pictures. Is everybody familiar with Etiquette Pictures? Don't answer. Oh yeah, they put in an excellent Blu-ray of that one. Probably the best edition of that you're gonna find. Um, I want to see if we can find a. So the way it is that. See, I love the Bees and the Evil Within. See, I guess everybody's different. I watched the Bees with a bunch of my family. My dad was visiting, and he likes like the really kind of the cheesy animal attacks type of films. And we sat down. There's like 5 or 6 of us all together, like me and my dad and my cousin, my kids, and my better half. So that can obviously that's going to make a difference. It's just whenever I think of the Bees, I think of that evening. So is it perfect? Probably not. But for me, there's that attached to it as well. You know what I mean? When it comes to what's the other one you said? The Evil Within. I just really enjoyed that one too. Now, my oldest, she didn't like The Evil Within because the character that she liked in it got killed. So that was the reason. But anyway, so there's 4 titles here: Hangs Upon Nothing, Catch My Soul, The American Dreamer, and Some Call It Loving. Now, the American Dreamer, oh, it's done $14.99. Whoa. Is that Canadian? No, let's change the Canadian prices, guys, because I'm Canadian. Uh, so that'd be around $19.99. Anyway, so Etiquette Pictures is a sub label of Vinegar Syndrome. It was one of the things that they did early on, much like they did the Sexploitation series. Remember that series? That they did around 4 or 5 of them. Got you on Raw Force is insane. You'll love Raw Force. Trust me on this one. I think pretty much everybody the way you fair to splatter you. Yes. Disconnected. I got to get. I hear good things, but Disconnected. Did you just watch The Suckling? Are you going to do a review of it? I like Sarah Lighterr. Sarah Lighterr has some great reviews on this stuff. Way better than I can do. Just no. But I got to get this out. So Etiquette Pictures was a sub-label of Vinegar Syndrome. Some call it Loving is the only one that's really sought out, I think. The biggest title for me that they put out is The American Dreamer, which is the documentary Dennis Hopper. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking out. And here's why. So, slight diversion. I watch wrestling sometimes, and there's What Culture, which is a wrestling channel. And when I said here's why, that Simon Miller thing came in my head. If you know what I'm talking about, then you get a chuckle out of it. If you don't, it's not going to make any difference. So when these titles are gone, they're gone, I think. I don't think there's going to be any more of these made. So what's there right now for Etiquette Pictures? That's it. So if you're interested in getting any of those, if you want like a weird, really strange, odd musical called Catch My Soul, or if you want to check out that freaky Dennis Hopper, The American Dreamer documentary you want to put next to that Indicator last movie release that you got, keep an eye out for it during the sale, because I definitely am. Because Etiquette Pictures, that sub-label, once those are gone, they're out of there. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Now, I'm happy that you like Splatter U, because I'm a super fan of Splatter U. There's like a ton of that is a weird, interesting, strange, odd film. It's one of my favorite recent releases. I'm gonna wait. If Mountaintop Motel Massacre, I do want it. Let's just say this horror one. Say I know more than likely I'm gonna want all these, but I have a limited budget that I can spend for the sale, and I'm trying to fill in as many holes as I can in stuff that I don't have already. So basically, I don't have Bloodhook. A lot of people have the movie Bloodhook. People keep telling me I need to own Bloodhook. I agree. That was a mistake. The different slipcovers was definitely a mistake. I don't see them doing that again in the future. That's the thing. And I think the behind the scenes with Splatter U is so interesting as well. That's what really helps with both of them, actually. The behind the scenes on both of those films are actually fascinating. On Final Exam, like when you realize how low budget it actually was, that they didn't have a stunt guy through the entire thing, and they actually had to sneak and pay a stunt guy so they could do that final scene in Final Exam. And when for Splatter U, they literally only made a movie that was a little under 60 minutes long, so they had to go back at a different time with a different cast and add more onto the film, which was tonally extremely different than the other stuff that they had there. But they both have, for me, Splatter U and The Dorm That Dripped Blood. And if you've listened to the Just This podcast, you already know this, it's a perfect double feature. They're films that are darker than you'd expect. Endings are kind of nihilistic. But they're both enjoyable, and they both have these WTF Did I just watch that moments? Nothing is better than seeing a film and getting one of those. Did I just watch that? I love those moments. In the movie Madman, there's a hot tub sequence within that film where it's extremely awkward and it leaves you with one of those. Exactly, Vinegar Syndrome masters these type of things. I'm sure when I get to watch The Suckling, that's going to have a few of those. Did I just watch that? Actually, so did you, Sarah here? I guested on like just to this podcast, my second time actually, recently. And one of the ones that we talk about is There's Nothing Out There. You know, because you've been on my channel before, I've been screaming about There's Nothing Out There from Ralph Kninsky for a while now, wanting it on Blu-ray. And it finally came on Blu-ray. And obviously, I have There's Nothing Out There in my collection. And I watched it several times. Well, I had to watch it several times for the podcast. But anybody that doesn't have that, I'm serious. You know, that is their most stacked disc that they've put out to date. It definitely has the most features on it. Kninsky is a really fun, really talented underlooked director. I'm still waiting now. Now that There's Nothing Out There is out, I'm still waiting to have things like Nightmare Man come out, or maybe did he do The Hazing? I think that's the name of it. That's another one that I wouldn't mind seeing come out as well. I love their stuff. I still haven't got to watch Battle for the Lost Planet and War of the Mutants, Mutant War double feature. Now, somebody mentioned Penitentiary. I grew up with the Penitentiary films. I used to rent them on VHS all the time. Now, I got the Arrow editions for Penitentiary 1 and Penitentiary 2 on DVD, not on Blu-ray though, downstairs. And I love them. I'm just saddened that for some reason, and I guess it's a rights reason, maybe Sarah will know this, but for some reason, Penitentiary 3 has never been put out on Blu-ray. I don't know if, has Penitentiary 3 even got a DVD release? I don't think it has, actually. And I remember, like, watching them all back in the day, back in the VHS days of this stuff. I was, like, a huge blaxploitation fan before I even knew what blaxploitation was, as, like, you know, as a name. But I just really love those Penitentiary films. For me, it's a sacrilege thing to say. I'd enjoy those things more than I would watching the Rocky films. I can watch the Penitentiary movies over and over again. Which blaxploitation ones do I own? Not a lot, actually. You'd be surprised. I have Dolomite, and I'm trying to think. I got a couple more, but for the life of me right now, the only thing that's sticking out is Dolomite. I have no qualms about saying, Indy, that I do buy a few of the adult titles as well, and they do a great job on those releases. You know what? I might get a little shelf or something up here, because I make videos, you know, all around my house usually. But this in this chair, this is hands down the most comfortable place I have ever made a video since I came to this house. Like, no word of a lie, this is the most comfortable place that I've ever sat to make a video. And I do kind of dig that you guys can hear me, and I haven't had to put in like haven't had to go downstairs and get my headphones or anything like that to do the sound thing. However, if you do have any problems with hearing me, or if you find it get a little low or something like that, no, just please let me know, and I'll work on it. I'll look into it in the future, because it's interesting to actually do this on an iPhone again, because you get the same like picture, like really, when you think about it. It's just It's a little bit more easy. It's a little bit more compact as my iPad just charges up. Because, yes, thank you. We are God. You know better than I do, man. Sweet Sweetback's badass song I do own. That's which is another great release. If you like blaxploitation and you like the more like serious blaxploitation, like say you got Ganja and Hess, for instance, and you want to see like the beginning, the roots of blaxploitation, Sweet Sweetback is definitely like a cool blaxploitation with a bit of with a lot of art, indie art style in there. That's the I need to get Candy Tangerine Man. Somebody just mentioned that one there. I don't have that one yet. I do want Welcome Home Brother Charles, and I think it's MMA is the double feature. I hear that Welcome Home Brother Charles, that one I've seen a long time ago. That one still works, still pretty powerful. But the other film, which I'm going to think is MMA, it's something like that, works just as well. I don't own Disco Godfather. I don't own any of the other ones yet. Yeah, I know. Welcome Home, Brother Charles is on my list of ones for the sale. It's a double feature. Did you like the other feature on there? MMA, thank you. So when you think about it now, like if somebody was to make a movie called MMA now, you know it would have to be about one, if it's gonna be like in that style type of thing, it's gonna have to be some badass character. Cause think of it, MMA. MMA. Come on, this movie writes itself. Badass female ex MMA. Lady Coco is. I've heard that's really good. I haven't got that one. I don't have. That's on the Candy Tangerine Man. That's like the double feature. I probably might grab those two. Welcome Home, Brother Charles, and see one of these days, I'm gonna write a film, and MMA and Candy Tangerine Man, and Lady Coco. That's a great four film like double feature pack that if you don't have them, look for during the halfway to Black Friday sale. Because those just went like way up on my list of ones to get. I could probably get fill it out with a bunch of blaxploitation films, stuff like Peter Wheatstraw, Disco Godfather, or God, what's the other one called again? There's one more Dolomite like Rudy Ray Moore film, and for the life, man, I remember it right now. But it's later in the night here. But it's something that yeah, there's so many different ways to go about it. Here's the thing, I got a certain amount. Newman Tornado, thanks. See, dude, you're knowing it tonight. You're killing it. What company put out Black Shampoo? It wasn't them. It was Peter Wheatstraw for the more sophisticated. That's the autocorrect, man. That happens to me all the time, except it comes out of my mouth because, because when me and names, yep, Xena. But there's so many here that I want to look into. Now, Graydon Clark, I still say the best Graydon Clark one that I've seen come out yet is Wacko's fun, but I think if you're gonna pick one Graydon Clark film, I'd still go with The Uninvited. It is an insane film. It's got a same as Wacko. Graydon Clark's one of those guys that can get a big cast, right? So you'll get an insanely good cast. You'll get Clu Gallagher. Either way, in Uninvited, by the way. So he's a tough guy, and so yes, if the Clu Gallagher name kind of sounds familiar, but you're not quite sure, and everybody here knows who he is. But if you're new here, hey, 13th Wolfman, then Clu Gallagher was the dad in Freddy's, Friday 13th Part 2. Wasn't that fantastic? Uninvited, I did not remember at all. Actually, I thought it was The Uncanny. Those two films with the cats, right? So I sit down one night to watch The Uninvited, and I have no expectations going in. I don't remember it at all. It's insane in all the best ways. Not like it's never boring. Yeah, and that's the difference I found between The Uninvited. That's right, he did play Brie, didn't he? And and Wacko. I really like Wacko, but the commentary on Wacko, he just I feel like he's not as into it as he is on The Uninvited. I feel like maybe he had more stories to tell on The Uninvited. Uh, Clark cashes in. Uh, that's not a bad thing. I actually for me for a guy that's into marketing, that's actually super admirable. That is a super awesome thing. He knows, like he says, okay, this looks like it's going to be a good film. This looks like it's going to be a genre should do. Did you really meet him? That's awesome. Uh, I've something about him, like as an actor, I've always really enjoyed. I've seen him, like in different things. The Jeff Burr movie they did, Whisper to a Scream, is in that. Did a really good creepy job in that film. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The Uninvited so far has been the best commentary that I've heard about, and it's a really good commentary. So when I turned on Wacko, and I turned it on, because I was doing a podcast for that was one of the three films that we're talking about, and the first time I watched Wacko, I didn't get into it too much. I got into it more on the second go around because it's one of those movies that works better either with a crowd of people or on a second or third time because there's certain jokes that you kind of watch for. But unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of features on there. But a couple of them that were really good, except for the commentary. The commentary on it was kind of dry. Uh, that's something that I really have been like. That was my only complaint with Wacko was that the commentary was kind of dry, especially when you compare it to The Uninvited. The Uninvited just had like this fantastic commentary on it. My computer went all dark on me for a second. So I'm not sure if what else you guys got there. I don't have Party Line yet. That's one that I do want to get. I remember Party Line. Actually, that's one I remember pretty well. I hear Climax of a Blue Power is actually pretty good. I don't know a lot about that one. Bloody New Year. If you don't have Bloody New Year, it's definitely the best of the Norman J. Warren films that are out there. And I love Prey, and I thought Terror was really, really fun. But Bloody New Year, hands down, that's a buy. Blood New Year is definitely a buy. That's one to look into. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's super low budget and insane, and you're gonna love every minute of it. Bloody New Year works, and you'll be surprised how well it works. Yes, hands down, without a doubt, Incubus is one of the best films in my opinion. One of the best films that, especially that year, that they put out. That's one that I'll always recommend. Incubus is based on the book. They changed the. If you've read the book, if you read the book, The Incubus, understand that they do change a lot of it, and they do change who the Incubus is in the from the film to the book. They actually, up till the last minute, they really weren't sure which way they were going to go, and I liked the way they went with the ending of The Incubus. It's a bit of a gut punch. It's a fantastic film. You're looking at a film that has John Cassavetes and John Ireland in it. That's some pretty powerhouse actors right there. Fantastically well directed. Gotta recommend it. Sounds from 1981. See, there you go. 1981. That's what I got to do. I got to one of these days. I'm gonna like break down years. Like do like I'm an '80s kid, so not a kid anymore. But I was an '80s kid. So like to break down like maybe the first 4 years, the '80s, 81, 82, 83, and '84, into like just study up, look at films, and actually talk about, take a stream, talk about 81, talk about 82, talk about 83, and talk about 84, that type of thing. See how that goes over. That could be an interesting way to go with it. Yeah, when Cutting Class came out, there was 5 covers, and as you guys know, 85. You're challenging me with 13 Wolf. Man, I kind of like that. That way we can actually kind of focus on some little known films as well. Get something in there. Beware My Brethren, they said, is one that that's a good one, but that hasn't sold as well as he wanted it to. And again, they say when it's a cover that really stands out, it's a seller. So I'm not sure how good and Sudden Fury is sold, but I will tell you right now, not just as a Canadian, but as a guy that likes like thrillers, Sudden Fury, I'm pretty sure it's the one I remember. Definitely check out Sudden Fury. That's one I don't have yet. That's one that I do want. And if anybody has it here, that's the one where the guy gets in an argument with his wife, right? Like when they're driving, swerves, wants to kill her, type of thing. That's a good idea, actually. Are there any titles that you want Vinegar Syndrome to restore? Is there anything that's not out that you would like to see Vinegar Syndrome put out? Because for me, one that I can think of right off the bat is Blue Monkey. I'm not gonna lie, Blue Monkey is this crazy film from back in the day. I would love to see them do it. It was like kind of like a monster film. It's a super cheesy one, but if anybody remembers it, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, Blue Monkey, there's one that I would definitely want to see Vinegar Syndrome do. Now that Vinegar Syndrome has started to do some more like, I don't want to say serious films, some like more subdued films as well. Fade to Black is a movie that I've always wanted to see come out on a boutique label. There you go with my pronunciation again. But I think Fade to Black can you imagine Fade to Black with the Vinegar Syndrome slipcover? That would be awesome. But yeah, Blue Monkey, 100%. I don't know if anybody else is ever going to say that one, but that's one that I would strongly like to see them put out. I think it's right up Vinegar Syndrome's alley. I'd rather see it come out on a Vinegar Syndrome than I would on any of the labels, to be honest with you. There's just certain films that when you think about them, they got Vinegar Syndrome written all over them. Cynthia Rothrock, I haven't seen any of her movies really come out on Blu-ray, like none that I can think of at the particular moment. One of 2 companies had to start putting her out. Either Kino's going to have to do it, or Vinegar Syndrome's going to have to do it. I would like to see Vinegar Syndrome do it. But my number 1 pick for Vinegar Syndrome, it's a set, actually. It's 4 films. And I think I'm the only person that would ever say this. Paint the Black is a good choice. But Silent Rage, oh nice. I would like to see them put out, like I hope they did good on Party Line, because what I want to see put out is along those lines. And that is a film series called Night Eyes. So I'm sure Sarah Tier and Indy, you guys are going to know this. So basically, Andrew Stevens became not just an actor, but became a producer. He started doing his own film series. Usually in the sexploitation, kind of the thriller genre. The sexy thrillers, those Skinamax style ones that you'd see back in the day. The ones that are still painfully underrepresented on Blu-ray. He did one about, basically it's a pretty simple premise. He's a security guard. He installs security systems into these people's houses, and murders happen. At least 2 of them star Shannon Tweed. One of them, I think it's part 3, has Shannon Tweed and her sister, Tracy Tweed, who is also extremely gorgeous. Now, of course, I may be slightly biased because, they're from my area, they're from Newfoundland. But I would love to see the Night Eyes series put out on Blu-ray. Get a good edition of it. Now, Andrew Stevens stars in the first three of them, but by the fourth one, he was just producing. So they got a soap actor from Bold and the Beautiful, I think, at the time, named Jeff Chakta, to actually take over and be like a different character, but the same premise. He's like a security guy. There's a girl. It's sexy time, that type of thing. So that would be interesting to see. I would love to see the Night Eyes series put out. Have I ever seen Ninja Terminator? I don't remember it actually. Uh, but I now I kind of got to see it because that's an awesome name. I would definitely. But Ninja Terminator, doesn't that kind of like make you think AGFA though? Like maybe kind of Vinegar Syndrome, but kind of AGFA as well, since they do a lot of that cheesy stuff. The Fan, 81, Blood Beach, Fade to Black, the stuff. Well, the stuff is already all this own. That's in UK though. Mirror Mirror. Unfortunately, unfortunately, and I do mean this. I think Mirror Mirror was put out by a different company. At least the first one was, which is going to kill the rights for getting all of them. I used to have an Anchor Bay set of for the four Mirror Mirror films, and it was like kind of a silvery case. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And it got that movie got stolen. That set got stolen. Not from here. Like this was before I moved here, but I that's one of my biggest regrets. I really miss not having those. But yeah, I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome do the Mirror Mirror series. It's right up their alley. But unfortunately, one of them's already out. Or is already out or is being put out by another company, and that's going to hurt the rights. I think. Black Belt Jones is something I see. Is that Warner? Because I see that would be like kind of a. If it's Warner, I see that kind of being a Warner Archives type of thing. Blood Beach Indy is actually one of those movies that I know my dad would buy in a second. I'm pretty sure that Blood Beach is the first movie that he ever rented on VHS. Like that was the very first movie rented on VHS. I'm sure he told me that, and it's something that I actually find interesting. I'm not sure if I said this at the beginning. So my sound screwed up at the beginning of my Doctor Who video. So what I did, because I didn't really like it, and I put some music over the first couple minutes of the video, first 3.5 minutes of the video, just to let you know, so you can like go into the 5-minute part. This one, when it gets good. Blade Runner was your first VHS rental. I'm trying to think of my first VHS rental was. Ironically, one of my first VHS rentals I have from Vinegar Syndrome right now, and it was only on DVD. I think they put a Blu-ray when they put it the 5 films, 5 years, volume 2 or volume 3 or 4. But it's a Dracula Sucks. Don't laugh. I actually got that when I was young. At the time, people they didn't realize it said Dracula, and they thought it was a regular film at the video store that I went to. So I rented it. And if you're not aware, it's an adult film. It has, with some very famous adult actors. Jamie Gillis is in it, and John Holmes. To name just a couple. And it was because there's 2 versions of the film. There's a softcore, kind of like a lighter version, and there is an adult version. It was one of the first films I rented on VHS, and it was an adult version. I had no idea at the time. The case didn't give any type of like indication that it was, but you're thinking Leslie Nielsen. I know you are. No, it was like one of the early releases that they did. It's on DVD that like for both versions of it. You can actually probably get it for fairly cheap. Not my favorite movie, but like just it was a good for that type of film, and definitely probably more Dracula than some of the actual Dracula films you see that come out there. But yeah, that was a good question actually. What movies would we like to see Vinegar Syndrome restore? Because that's what they are. They are by far and large, they're a restoration company that does that makes their own films, but restoring is extremely important to them. When I buy a Vinegar Syndrome title, like I say, my movie library isn't just my movie library to watch, it's my archive. At this point, with the amount of films that I get, and I got, and I'm sure most of you are pretty much the same as me, as in, like, you know, we've grabbed a lot over the years. Uh, we don't know, like, with all the streaming and stuff that's out there and all the crazy stuff. I'm getting all the physical releases that I can get. I'm archiving the cinema that I want in my collection. I want things that aren't going to get lost. I want to make sure that things don't get lost. Bank robber. I don't know if I saw that one. I probably didn't see it, you know. Actually, I'm kind of curious. It's an NC-17. NC-17 was that failed rating system, and it didn't have to be a failed rating system. Oh, I'm there. Lisa Bonet. I'm a really big Lisa Bonet fan. I you know, Angel Heart. She got really screwed over by Bill Cosby with the different World Series, because apparently, and there's an irony to this now, but because of you know, stuff like Angel Heart, Bill Cosby fired her from A Different World because she had the wrong, you know, morally, she wasn't right. Yeah. That's your own personal archive and library. Nobody can take that away from you. You grab your movie out of your library, that's yours. You don't have to worry that when you take your Blu-ray out to put on, hey, I wonder if anybody changed the music on this. I wonder if a scene got cut out of this. I wonder if a certain actor, director, or something like that may have done something questionable afterwards and parts of the film are no longer there, or this film is no longer available. Or if it's a TV show like The Simpsons and the Michael Jackson episode, if that's all of a sudden gone. If you own it, you got it, that's it. Exactly. Isn't it, when you think of an L-33 Wolfman and all the stuff that's come out, it's ironic that Bill Cosby would fire anybody for questionable moral values. That's it. History. But no, you know, those are some releases that definitely, I haven't seen that movie, Bankrupt, but I'd actually like to see it. Thanks, B-Movie. But Beware My Brethren, I don't know at all. So if any of you guys know that one, definitely let me know. Saved by the Bell. Did they take stuff out of Saved by the Bell? Now, Death by Temptation is one that I definitely gotta check out. Yeah, do you remember 13th Wolfman? It was a joke in like an Eddie Murphy thing, but I think it did bother Eddie Murphy that Bill Cosby called him up and said, you know, you can't be doing your stand-up like this with the cursing and all the words and all that stuff in there. And it bothered Eddie Murphy made a joke at it for one of his shows, but I think it really did bother him back in the day. Memories within Miss Aggie. I kind of remember this one. I think this is an adult title. I don't have The House on Tombstone Hill. Is that the one that's like dead guys? Oh, what's it called? There's another name for this movie. House on Tombstone. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's another name for that film. Maybe 2 or 3. But I'm pretty sure it's like kind of a trauma title, or a trauma acquisition anyway. Because some of the stuff that they've done recently have been like either trauma titles or trauma acquisitions. Now they worked with trauma from like kind of early on when they did like a couple of their releases. I don't have Shot, which I actually am interested in. Dare to Delilah, I'm really intrigued by. Dead Dudes in the House. Thank you, 30 Wolfman. I knew you'd know. Yeah, because wasn't that sort of a basically trauma saying, hey, House Party is doing well. This movie's nothing like House Party, but let's give it a House Party style name. We'll call it Dead Dudes in the House. Which makes zero sense. House of the Dead, Alien Zone is one I gotta have. I remember that one back from the VHS days. I haven't seen it since VHS, and it's an anthology film. I'm just a sucker for anthology films. From the best to the worst. I kind of gotta have them all. And I love that style of film. Now, Buddies, I don't really. Eventually, maybe. Buddies is a hard sell for me. I know it's going to be a good film. I know the acting is going to be done well. I know it's going to be very raw and very real. It's also going to be really depressing. If you haven't seen Buddies, it's kind of a like a serious, dramatic film. It's an AIDS film, and it's definitely an important film to see and a snapshot of its time. Um, but it's like it's unless that's a film that you're looking for, um, it's kind of hard to it's a hard sell um, for a comedy. It was definitely a risk for Vinegar Syndrome to say, okay, we're gonna. I'm glad they did because oh, have a great evening there. I actually didn't plan to make this video this long. Thank you so much for staying here with me. By the way, and watch it. See, yeah, that's the thing, Buddies. It sounds like a fantastic film, and I'm sure it's a great film. And if you buy the whole package thing and it's with it, I get it. But as going through a sale or something like that, and me saying, I got to pick up Buddies now, I'm probably not going to. Not for, as I'll be honest with you, Buddies is going to be one of those that it's going to come in like into later time, like period of time. Then I'm going to be like, okay, now I'll grab this. Like now, when it's like set like $7 or something, now I'll grab this. And it's not not me being cheap because I definitely buy the more expensive Vinegar Syndrome stuff. It's just that the film itself, you gotta be in the right mood for something like that. It's I don't sit down. There's a reason I don't have Philadelphia, Tom Hanks in my library. Is it a fantastic film? My God, yes, it's an amazing film. But I'm not a person that can watch a lot of like the really super depressing films without like some type of revenge aspect to it. And that's just me. Different people like different things. Like there is definitely a market. Now, a Blood Theater is it with the Visitants? That's a Mary Warnoff film. So yes, hell yeah, I love Mary Warnoff. I had the DVD of that one. It's like an early DVD. It's I bought it at this pawn shop. So I'm not really sure if it's gonna work for me. It was a little bit on the scratchy side. Yeah, it can because like I'll be honest with you, I don't I try to keep things not just on my channel, but I deal with like the stuff that I have to deal with like family and finances and all that type of stuff. So yeah, let's keep life kind of a little bit just a little bit shallow on me, but just a little bit light. I kind of enjoy that. But yeah, Blood Theater with Mary Warnoff, I'm all about that. Yeah, I got Old Yeller in my collection, but I haven't seen it since I got it there. I've seen it when I was young, and I bawled like a baby. The Yearling, my dad has that, and the thing is that the kid in the Yearling looks exactly like my dad did as a kid. So my grandmother always used to say that the kid from the Yearling looked exactly like my dad did as a little boy. So obviously that was like she's passed now, but that was like a big thing for her was that. And it's true. The kid does actually. The little blonde-haired kid looks exactly like my dad back then. I got Grave Robbers is again one I'm very interested in. Now I got a lot of these here. Deadly Daphne's Revenge. I got Pets. I do recommend Pets. That's a Mike Cartel film. Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. I actually don't have that one. I'm not sure if that's what I want to get right away though. Sweet Back's Badass Song I got. Blood Hook I definitely want. That's high. Like Blood Hook is one I think is pretty much a certainty. I've heard so much great stuff about Blood Hook. Now Star Time stars Mike Gerard. Now him I remember there used to be a short-lived series that came on. First was there was a mini series about Elvis, and or Michael St. Gerard, I think it is, and then there was like a TV series that spun off that like miniseries, where it was called Elvis: The Early Years, and I'm pretty sure that's the same actor. Now, somebody that's seen this film can tell me for sure, but I think you can let me know if I'm wrong, or if I am wrong, you see this afterwards. Feel free to say nope in the comment section down below. I actually enjoy being told when I'm wrong. I think it's him. That kind of makes me curious about it. It looks kind of like a slasher film. I don't think I've ever seen Star Time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Welcome Home, Brother Charles and Matt. I already said that's one on my list. Prey. I strongly recommend that one, everybody, guys. Penitentiary 2. I want it. It depends. Are there still like slips for Penitentiary 1 and 2? I kind of want them, but I do have the DVD. But I know I need the upgrade. It'll depend on how much disposable income I got for those releases. I love the cover of Penitentiary 2. I think Penitentiary 1 it's a decent cover. It looks unique. It looks kind of weird actually for Penitentiary. It doesn't really suit what the film is. But Penitentiary 2 for sure. I remember that cover actually. I remember that. This is the cover that I remember for the movie Penitentiary 2. Now, I know 5 films, 5 years, volume 1, I think, and maybe volume 2 are already sold out. But Disconnected is one that I've heard a lot of great stuff about, and I think it was you 13th Wolfman? Or any fan? When you guys, Satellite Terror, when you guys mentioned Disconnected? And that's one I don't have. I'm intrigued, after seeing the excellent 42nd Street, Fleshpot on 42nd Street, I'm really intrigued about the Andy Milligan double feature. Because I really liked Fleshpot on 42nd Street. That's definitely, more than likely, when I do another like podcast with Brian, that's definitely probably going to be one of the movies we're talking about. It's stuck with me. Now, Seeds and Vapors with the Andy Milligan double feature, along with, I think, The Pickup or Trip the Teacher, they were all part of a short-lived series called I think it was the Sexploitation series. I want to go look at one of these without like getting anything too raunchy on the screen. Let's see if it is one of them. Maybe it's The Pickup. So there we go. So they got this limited edition Sexploitation signature series. Now on the side of it, you can't see it from this angle, but there's Sexploitation signature series is on the spine, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sucker for spines, whether they be numbered or have something unique on it that's going to stand out. I saw somebody had 2 or 3 of them in his collection, and I saw the spine, the Sexploitation signature series on the spine, and I said, I gotta have these. Pickup is one I remember. It's one of those, I think it's one of those Crown releases, actually. But the unfortunate part about the signature series, and I'll be honest with you, is that they stopped making them. And I think they have stopped making the signature series altogether. It wasn't one of the more popular series, unfortunately, because they did put out some great stuff with it. But the first one that they put out, though, in the signature series, because it was the first one, was extremely popular. And it was Joe Sarno's. It was like Joe Sarno's it's definitely a popular, like spine numbers. Yeah, I'm super OCD about stuff like that. I love spine numbers. Right now, like Indy, I got, like I mentioned, like I think you heard when I did MVD Rewind collection. I'm like 3 away from having like pretty much the first 16 of those, right? They're numbered. They got a mini poster. I'm loving it. And there's one that I'm iffy on, which is Savannah Smiles. It's a good movie. It's a nice little film. I know I'm probably not going to watch it once or twice. So I want to make sure I get it at a good price, because it's definitely not my favorite out of the MVD Rewind collection. But there's no way I'm going to be missing number 3 in, in a series of of 16. But yeah, definitely there's something unique about the signature series. I like the look of it. If you, I don't know if I can actually legitimately, for the sexiness of the slipcover. You got 3 other tests. There's some really good ones. There's one I recommend, Indie Phantom. Yeah, that's the worst part about it. That's like when you watch the Poltergeist movies now. I was super depressed back in the day when after the little girl died, and like needlessly from the Poltergeist films, because that was somebody that was younger, and I was at the time I was younger, and I didn't, and it was really hard to see like somebody of that age that had passed on, um, but yeah, no, I it's a film. It's a good film though. It's a film that like the film itself isn't depressing. It's just knowing what happens afterwards that can kind of be on the depressing side. But I definitely know what you mean. But yeah, no. There's a film in the collection though, in the MVD Rewind collection that a lot of people aren't going to get because of its title, but I gotta recommend it. And it is Gone to Coney Island on a mission from God. Be back at 5. Um, if you haven't seen it, it's a John Cryer film. I think it's really good, and maybe it's just me. Maybe it just hit me in certain spots because some of the things that they did and they went through, I can definitely relate to. And it has just such great special features and commentaries. It's overall, it's a great package. Much like Abominable is a fantastic package. Oh sure, it's a long one. It's the only long one in the MVD Rewind series. It's called Gone to Coney Island on a mission from God. Be back at 5. It is probably around the 5th video I mentioned in, and I always mention I'm gonna like drill it into your head until everybody has this film because it was such a fantastic surprise for me, and it's always good when you find one of those movies that that just you never saw, came out of nowhere, never heard of it before. You watch it and it really connects with you. Uh, Good. Let me know what you think of it. Actually, when you watch it, let me know what you think. I'd actually be interested to know. What's kind of interesting is the title of the film was actually it came from a note that he wrote to his girlfriend one day. At least his girlfriend at the time, John Carr's girlfriend at the time. He wrote her. He was gone to gone to Coney Island. It was kind of what he wrote to his girlfriend one day. Anyway, Vinegar Syndrome. Sorry, I got sidetracked. That happens to me sometimes, guys. But there it is. Red Rose of Passions. That is sold out. That's the one I want. That one. I want the whole limited edition Sexploitation series. Hopefully somewhere along the line, without having to pay too much for it, I'll be able to find Red Roses of Passion. It's one that I do want. I do like Joe Sarno's. He plays this locked room and only have the key. It's definitely one of those titles. But at least you remember it, right? That's the thing. Always remember the title. Once you know it, you're always going to know it. Snapshot, another one that I'm surprised they don't have, because Snapshot is definitely up my alley. My Chauffeur, if you don't have it, that's a given. Get My Chauffeur. It's just a really good film. When you're thinking of like really lovable characters in cinema, you don't get any more like charmingly adorable than Deborah Foreman in My Chauffeur. She is, you all definitely fall in love with her character. She just has that. She has that like certain thing about her. As does Nurse Sherry from yeah, in a very different way. Nurse Sherry is an Al Adamson film. If you know Al Adamson, then you know exactly what you're getting with an Al Adamson film. Well, you're My Chauffeur. Yeah, you more than likely you do. I've got like a pack. It's like, is it the 80s pack, the one with like the 12 films on it? That's got like Hunk and My Chauffeur and My Tutor and a few other ones. Because that's the one that I got. But dude, it's worth the upgrade. It really is. It's definitely worth the upgrade. It's one of the best, like if the slip's still there, it's one of the best slips that they did. Uh, the features are really good, and they actually do over like interviews with like people like Deborah Foreman on there as well. And it's a great like it's a great upgrade for the title. It's a really good like presentation. It's never looked so good. On the adult stuff, A Touch of Genie is actually a really funny adult film. Uh, if you've never seen it, it's if and you like that type of cinema, it's definitely worth a watch. Um, I don't have that one in my collection right now, but I do remember it because I'm pretty sure that's the one where the guy kind of like some kind, yeah. I know A Touch of Genie or Must Chauffeur. Touch of Genie is definitely from the comedy genre. Basically, he's kind of like a nerdy guy, and he turns into these like porn act. It's really it's kind of weird. It's funny, it's odd, but it's really kind of cool and cheesy. Um, of course, there's like Sweet Sugar and Red Mob. I don't have Red Mob. I'm not. I don't know if that's did a regular release of Red Mob come out yet? Because I know they had the slipcover release. Early ones that I don't have is the Hearst. I don't have Double Exposure, which is actually a really good film. My dad has that one. My dad also picked up China Girl. I don't think I've got that one. Ha- Hamburger the Motion Picture is another fantastic idea for Vinegar Syndrome. If you are of the Twitterverse, uh, I recommend because I'm not very good at this, but with all the recommendations that are here, tweet this video and tag Vinegar Syndrome on it so we can let them know what we want. I've got like the hearse I got on one of those multi packs, those BFI multi packs that came out back in the day. The driving collections and stuff like that. But I would definitely like to get the upgrade. I hear it's a really good one. So yeah, there's Don't Answer the Phone. I remember that movie basically because it's the guy. I remember the guy mostly from from Darkman. Remember the movie Darkman? Yeah, so he was like the one of the thugs, the one of the more memorable thugs in the movie Darkman, and he's the kind of the lead killer in Don't Answer the Phone. So one of the Don't Answer movies that you got to have. Now, if you don't have it, Blood Mania, Planet Terror, it's Pete Carpenter double feature, definitely 100%. Uh, Maybe All the Sins of Sodom was the first one. Because All the Sins of Sodom, I'm pretty sure that's Joe Sarno's. I may have mixed it up, guys. I do apologize. Undertaker, I think everybody has that one by now. If you don't, really, you should. It's a fantastic Joe Spinell film. If you picked up Maniac, which came out like late last year, I think, or early this year from Blue Underground, then you definitely got to have the Undertaker in your collection. One that you can't miss out on. Is if you're a Joe Spinell fan, Death Machines. Oh, really? I haven't seen Don't Answer the Phone since VHS days. So if when I go in and watch that, man, that's like going to be seeing it for the first time again. I love that, man. I love corner store rentals. That is such a lost thing. There was a store, like when my well, I was younger, but there was a store basically I'd go to, and you'd have like uh, the regular rentals that were like $3.99, that type of thing, right? But they'd have this one wall, and they'd keep circulating them around, like which were 99-cent rentals. And I'd always go there and I always hit the 99-cent rental wall, when sometimes I didn't have the bones to like get one of the big ones or something like that, or I just was in there, I had a couple bucks, I just wanted to rent a movie for the night. And I also rent a bunch of UFC VHS back then, the Gracie stuff and the Shamrock. But I used to like rent. I used to always, if there's a horror one there or a science fiction or an action one, I just grab it. It didn't matter what it was, just take a chance, see what it is. And I found so many good things through that little 99-cent wall that they had. Uh, you can't, you cannot like. There's still like a few like video stores around, but you can't miss that. Small wall rentals out. The UFC. Not so, I watch a bit of it, but not so much now. It was kind of comical actually. I'm not a big guy, but when it was kind of like at its and it's big, and it's big part. There was like somebody that was doing kind of like a Canadian version of like of MMA, and I was on a basketball court. I was actually playing some basketball, and he I guess he was like going around and like kind of scoping people, and he asked me, he said, you know, you should, that's what you should do, you know, you should, I'm doing this MMA league, and you know, I think you'd be good for it. You should give it a shot. And I'm like, no, I prefer, you know, keep my bones. Like I get my ass kicked. I don't want that. Let's not do that. Aaron can watch UFC and stuff like that. He does not need to go into an octagon and prove anything. I'll just watch. But I thought it was hilarious. um, anyway, yeah, but there's so many fantastic. That's what I hear. I keep hearing. No, they didn't mention it on the on the thing. So I'm kind of wondering if they're still going to be doing it this time, or if they're going to do it on the Black Friday rather than halfway to Black Friday sale. But Vinegar Syndrome has mentioned before. It has been said that they are going to do some slip covers of some of the earlier releases and sell them. Now, the cutting class thing, I'm not sure if that would have put a kibosh on that, but that was a really bad idea, the cutting class 5 slipcover thing. I'm not sure how well that did. I really don't know. Like, I know cutting classes definitely was something that sold well for them, but I don't know if the 5 slipcovers sold well for them. I have, oh, thank you, 13 Wolf Man. I actually appreciate that. Hopefully they see that and they put some of those movies that we want out. But I would love to see, like, I would buy, like, I got Hobgoblin. I would love to see a slipcover for Hobgoblin. Or I don't have Death Row Game Show yet. That's one I need to get. But definitely Death Row Game Show. That's a fun one. It's super cheesy. If you've ever seen it, you know, it's just a fun film. Thank you. I forgot. I never remember his name. I just remember him as, you know, as basically the guy from Darkman. It's a shame. Like, you, damn good actor. But I never remember Nicholas Wirth's name. I always just said that's the guy from Darkman. That is how I remember Mr. Wirth. But yes, Death Row Game Show was one of the earlier releases. Definitely recommend that one. It's still in their white case releases. How Comes to Frogtown? Yeah, and I do have How Comes to Frogtown. Some people say they want How Comes to Frogtown to come out. I'm a little greedy in the fact that I've got the Arrow edition of How Comes to Frogtown, so I'm kind of hoping that they release something, maybe Return to Frogtown or something like that, because there's like 3 or 4 of them, right? I'm pretty sure there's like 3 or 4 of those Frogtown films. Like Hell Comes to Frogtown is usually one people remember. You'll notice, by the way, and I do notice this. I never used to, but maybe it's because of the of the camera thing. Is that where I'm from, Newfoundland, and there's an accent that I pick up on more now than I used to. If you listen closely, I drop my H's like every once in a while. That's a very Newfoundland thing to do, is to drop your H's. So instead of like Hell Comes to Frogtown, you'll hear me say L Comes to Frogtown. That's, you know, just listen for that. You'll once I've told you this, you can't unhear it. Definitely Death Row Game Show. I'd love to see them put like some slipcovers out for some of these releases. I would love to have a slipcover from Nightmare Sisters. That would be like a fantastic one to get a slipcover for. They recently announced that they're doing the is it Sorority Babes and Slam Bubble-O-Rama? In other words, you know, the Imp Part 2. They're doing a Part 2 to that with Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley, and Brink Stevens doing a cameo appearance in the sequel film. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. You know, that just came to me. Bold Obsession. Oh my God, you're right. Bold Obsession is we hired that girl to basically to talk to him about the industry. Body Double is one of my favorite films. Like, really, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite, like, De Palma film. So yeah, she actually had a cameo in the film, and he actually spoke with her, like, because she knew, she was kind of like the behind the scenes person. She knew exactly what about the industry. Oh, I'm sorry to see us go through it. Wolfman, thank you for tweeting it out, by the way. Hopefully they hear that and get, think of some of the titles that could actually come up there. I'm actually gonna be going to bed actually pretty soon too, because it's fairly late here right now, and this was only supposed to be a 20-minute video, actually. But I don't. When it comes to Vinegar Syndrome, I can talk a lot. This is a company that I love, and that you guys know I do like look into a lot, and I'm super hyped for the halfway to Black Friday sale. I'm ready to see this thing happen. I don't have the storefront theater ones. I don't know if you guys got that one or if you got that one, Indy, but there's 2 storefront theater ones. They're very cheesy stuff. But it's going to be ones that I'm going to look into. Tell you what, we'll leave it right here, right now. We will come here again. We'll do like kind of a second part to this video here. We'll talk more about Vinegar Syndrome, and talk more about we'll dive deep in some of these releases. Think about some stuff that you want Vinegar Syndrome to restore, that you would like to see under their label, and we'll talk about that again. Maybe we can tweet out another video and see if we can get Vinegar Syndrome to give us some love, and get some of those most requested movies out there. Night Eyes Vinegar Syndrome, please make that happen. I am Aaron. This has been super fantastic. Thank you, Indie Fan. I'm always glad to see you in here. Cellulite Terror, man, unfortunately passed God now. Is 13 Wolfman's gone on to bed, and but guys, thank you so much for coming in tonight. And I know this is my second video tonight, and it's I had a blast. This, I'm Aaron. This is a movie club, or I'm Mr. Vincent. Cellulite Shot. Actually, I'm watching some movies tonight. Actually, that you sent my way. So we'll be doing that video soon. So keep an eye out for that. And there we go. I hit the wall, guys. I am Aaron. You guys are the movie club. You guys rock. And I gotta go make some tea before I go to bed. Probably not a great idea, but I kind of need